Forests are our future. Our forests are a huge carbon sink, which we need to promote sustainably to make sure that we have these forests and their use and their benefits and their beauty for generations to come.
We have this tremendous asset in the northern forest, 30 million acres of forest that's been used and managed by people for thousands of years, well before European settlers got here. The challenge for the future is constantly developing new uses of that forest that provide jobs and economies for our rural communities, while also doing right by the forest and keeping it intact and healthy.
This area has been hard hit over the last 100 years with mills disappearing, offshoring of some of our wood products and wood product markets. And we have some very beautiful forests here that we'd like to help keep as working forests. And the best way to do that is find market potential for those forests. And so EDA, the Economic Development Administration, put forward $3 million to help 13 different projects become active in the region and to figure out how to help keep forest-rich communities in rural America healthy. And the Northern Forest Center asked us to serve as the fiscal agent.
In aggregate, this portfolio of 13 projects is going to strengthen and grow markets for over 6 million tons of wood, and that's the equivalent of several really large pulp and paper mills.
A really interesting opportunity that we have in the northern forest is that we have this incredible forest that is resilient over time, that is adding stocking, meaning it's growing more than we're harvesting. And what we had seen before as a potential challenge of how do we utilize the asset of the forest being there is actually the calling card for people actually moving to this place. And when we think about the future forest economy, it is trying to encapsulate all of those in a space here that they can coexist together.
This is the first time in the town of East Millinocket history we have an opportunity to control our own destiny. When the town of East Millinocket decided to purchase the mill, we knew it would take a lot of work, a lot of effort, but the more that we can diversify not only within the mill property but also within the different region, I think it's going to be better for everyone. We're very appreciative of the funding that we got to get this project up and running. We did not have the resources to purchase a heating system here. Without the grant, we would not have been able to have a tenant move in. It literally brought tears in people's eyes when the lighting system was turned on at nighttime and you can see the warehouse lit up after the closure.
So there's conveyors and infeeds all over the place. This was a jungle back here 2 years ago. Behind me is the 2017 Feather multi-deck veneer wood dryer. We got involved with a Future Forest Economy program. 16 truckloads later is all delivered here. You're redeveloping a former mill site. You're introducing a new forest product to rural Maine and North America. Being the largest employer in Bingham, year one, I think is huge.
Growing up in Bingham, a lot of my friends I grew up with, their parents worked here. There's signs that have my friends' parents' names on it. I'm doing what they did, working here. I'm going to the mill. It's keeping me in my hometown, keep me around my friends, my family. My brother even has talked about coming back. If there's more businesses, he has more of a reason to.
We're going to continue to see mill changes. How do we help prepare communities take advantage of the resources on hand and thrive?
As we looked at one commodity, then we're putting ourselves back into competing against a global marketplace that is not going to be a recipe for longevity and resiliency. Creating through smaller, diversified industries the type of forest product that used to go through traditional low-grade wood markets, and what does that look like today?
At the McNeil Station, we burn sustainably harvested wood chips in a 50-megawatt power plant to produce clean energy for the city of Burlington. We are one of the biggest low-grade markets in the state of Vermont, and with partners like the Northern Forest Center helping us financially, we will be able to take steam from our plant, pipe it up to the hospital, and replace their fossil fuel usage with renewable steam created by our plant, which becomes a 16% decrease in the emissions citywide.
The military is going against its own guidelines to use domestic hardwoods. They use approximately 1 million board feet a year of apatong from Indonesia and Malaysia to replace the decking on their trailers and lowboys. How many jobs would be created if the 1 million board feet from the Army was manufactured in central New York? And what we came up with was around 128 full-time jobs annually. And the Army is the tip of the iceberg.
What could make more sense than building a home for Maine people, by Maine people, with Maine materials, and building those homes to net zero energy standards? We have a labor crisis, a housing crisis, a climate crisis. We could solve for all of those things by building this type of home.
Modern wood heat is a cost-effective, efficient, reliable source of fuel for folks in the Northeast, which provides the dollars for landowners to keep forests as forests.
We're using the lowest value part of the forest supply chain. Landowners and loggers know there's a steady, stable market for them here that gives them a fair value year-round. I see it as an important component for renewable energy, for dealing with climate change, for promoting our rural economies and making sure they don't get left behind.
The forest economy is going through a huge transition. For decades, we relied on pulp and paper and two-buys. Those days are over. We're having to reimagine, reinvent, and innovate the products that are coming from our forests. This is a complete substitution for cellulose and other blow-in types of insulation. This will be the first product that's going to be on the market. What we've been told is that this is going to be the second one. This is what they're calling their BAT product. The future potential of wood fiber insulation is huge. It's of utmost importance that we create sustainable housing that's good for our environment. The support that we received for this project enabled us to both acquire and install a fiberboard pilot line that was donated by Timber HP, soon to be North America's first manufacturer of wood fiber insulation.
Wood-based textiles could essentially replace plastics. Chances are you're wearing polyester or some other sort of man-made fiber that is probably based on oil. Wouldn't it be great if some of that could be replaced with a biodegradable, renewable resource like wood? This was the critical first step for investigating the potential for wood-based textiles in our region.
Hold it to the light. These are made of plastic. You definitely can do better. Wood-based fibers are especially well suited for these non-woven structures.
How do we use renewable resources sourced locally to address products and services that we need?
Cross-laminated timber, basically you can think of it as plywood that's up to 50 feet long, 10 feet wide. Because of the Future Forest Economy Initiative, we have a commercially available CLT product made from local species. Any developer in the region that wants CLT can essentially go and purchase it now at a market rate and incorporate it into their development projects.
So all of the flat panels are the CLT, it's basically ceilings and floors.
Mass timber is a new take on an old technology, and we really think of it as the future of building in this country and in the world.
Structural round timber is a tree. By taking the tree in its whole and not cutting it up into parts, we're able to harness the strength of the actual tree. The Eau Claire Museum is a big deal because it is a global first. Those 30 sugar maples came out of northern Maine woods, shipped to Wisconsin where they were fabricated into the structural pieces that they are today. So Ashland is a great fit for this project because they have a dormant facility that could easily be used, and the labor market in Ashland is actually skilled in handling wood products.
A big part of growing markets for mass timber is awareness, making sure that architects, designers, builders are aware of it as a technology, know that it works, and we can produce it right here close to home.
Turn your head to the right. Keep going, keep going. Okay, right there.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
I found it.
The mass timber is basically the whole frame for this whole part of the building here. Yeah, so there's the whole tree right there, front and center. You know, ideally if it came out of Ashland, that would be huge.
Logging contractors are the fabric of the northern forest, and having them provide good safety practices, good business practices, good wages really helps the entire Northeast region.
Kind of take a look around, observe, what are you guys seeing? What do you guys think of this crossing location? You know, could it have been laid out a little different? What are your pinch points on either side?
Our program provides a way to verify that practices are happening. It looks at safety, BMPs, water quality, soils, business practices, all things that are important to professional logging business. And it keeps the forest healthy, and it also keeps the economy healthy.
If everybody's doing it, there's a sustainable, healthy forest that people can keep harvesting and keep making money. This can be much like an investment.
We can't make wood products if we don't have wood. So we have to strike that balance between providing products and services that we need and taking care of the forest so that it's here to provide that in perpetuity.
To us, that's where the future lies. It's diversified, it's balanced, it's deeply sustainable, and it's providing benefit to the community itself.
What impacts have we been able to create with $3 million? What if you had 30 million, or what if you had 300 million?
We benefited over 200 businesses and collectively leveraged another $14 million and counting in private investment. While this part of the initiative is wrapping up, I think the really exciting thing is that these projects are going to continue. We know that there will be some wins in the ideas that we funded that over time businesses can pick up and do more with.
The future of our forests depend upon diverse markets of wood. We are creating viable products that consumers require, that are creating value to people across the northern forest, that are incumbent upon us managing our timber lands well.